On what should have been a spotlight-filled week leading up to the Emilia Romagna Grand Prix, Lewis Hamilton chose silence. In a bold digital move, the seven-time world champion wiped his entire Instagram feed and unfollowed every account, including his new team, Ferrari, and even his beloved dog, Roscoe. It's a move that sparked more questions than answers, especially given how calculated and symbolic every step Hamilton takes tends to be. For longtime fans and observers, this isn't the first time Hamilton has ghosted social media. He famously went dark after the controversial 2021 Abu Dhabi Grand Prix, when he lost the world title to Max Verstappen on the final lap. That silence spoke volumes, a protest, a wound, a retreat. But this time, the backdrop is different. Hamilton isn't fighting for the title. He's navigating a brand new chapter, his debut season with Ferrari. On paper, the move was historic, a British racing legend joining Italy's most iconic team. But on the track, it's been anything but smooth sailing. 9 races in, Hamilton has yet to score a Grand Prix podium, though he did win the Shanghai Sprint. He trails his teammate, Charles Leclerc, by 12 points. And while the numbers tell one story, the emotional weight tells another. Ferrari isn't Mercedes, and chemistry doesn't form overnight. That's where his social media blackout becomes fascinating. Is it frustration, self-preservation, or maybe a little of both? Recently uncovered communications, circulating in Italian motorsport media, suggest key Ferrari engineers are struggling to adapt to Hamilton's feedback, with some reportedly resisting setup changes aligned with his driving style. This has sparked rumors of technical tension behind the garage doors, an eerily familiar situation for Hamilton fans who remember the McLaren fallout of 2012. Some insiders have even used the term cultural mismatch, describing the adjustment period between the meticulous British-trained Hamilton and the more intuitive, emotionally driven engineering philosophy within Ferrari. With the Emilia Romagna Grand Prix looming and the European season now in full swing, the pressure is rapidly building. Ferrari must decide whether to bridge the gap internally or risk losing the narrative altogether. Hamilton, meanwhile, faces one of the biggest decisions of his career: fight for influence inside the Prancing Horse, or begin thinking about an early exit strategy. At 40, he doesn't have another project left in him. The Ferrari chapter must be one of triumph, or it may become a cautionary tale. Lewis has never hidden his discomfort with the toxic undercurrents of social media, but few athletes of his stature have spoken as vulnerably about the psychological cost of staying connected. At the 2023 Brazilian Grand Prix, he admitted that being online often triggers social anxiety. There are anxieties I deal with. I've never really talked about it, but I've had to do a lot of internal work, he shared. Whether it's therapy, reading, meditation, just adding tools to my toolbox to help deal with the challenges. To delete everything, while being followed by over 30 million fans, isn't just a move, it's a message. One that says, I need to reclaim my space. A message that reveals the mental toll of not just racing cars, but racing expectations. Some see this as a motivational reset. Athletes at the highest level sometimes block out the noise to sharpen their focus. Two-time IndyCar champion Josef Newgarden did the same before the 2024 season, even unfollowing his wife. He didn't win the title, but he did take home his second straight Indy 500 victory. Could Hamilton be doing the same? Maybe. Maybe it's his way of taking back control in a world that never stops watching. Because Ferrari isn't just a team, it's a religion. The pressure doesn't just come from inside the garage, but from tifosi around the world, from Italian media that can be as brutal as a tight Imola chicane. One of Hamilton's toughest challenges has been syncing with Ferrari's technical culture. He's used to Mercedes, a German structure built on data and precise collaboration. In Maranello, he's working with engineers who've spent years building cars for Leclerc's style, which is vastly different from his. It's a mix of a lot of things, he recently explained. I'm used to driving a very different car, with a different setup and style, and so are the engineers here. Within the paddock, many call this season a transition period, but for Hamilton, who just turned 40, time is not a luxury. Every race is another reminder that his story is entering its final chapters. As F1 heads to Imola, a circuit steeped in history and heartbreak, Hamilton arrives carrying more than just a red race suit and his iconic helmet. He brings an internal battle that has nothing to do with tires or telemetry. He's racing against doubt, against the clock, and against a world that demands more than just performance. It demands perfection. And that's what makes Lewis Hamilton so compelling. He's not just fast, he's human, complex, vulnerable, resilient. And maybe, just maybe, that silent Instagram profile says more than any press conference ever could. It tells the story of a man still trying to write the final act of his legendary career on his own terms.